Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 2006 Illinois High School Association State Wrestling Individual Championships. We're here at Assembly Hall at the University of Illinois in Champaign, Illinois. I'm Alvin Washington. He's Mr. Twister, Andre Morgan. Andre, we are ready to wrestle 28 competitors in Class AA for the opportunity to become one of the fearless 14 at the top of the podium.
And that's what everybody's worked all year for. Tonight, at this moment, Alvin, right here, someone's going to leave with a bracket board.
Folks, as they always say at the start of the tournament, let's get ready to wrestle.
The Class AA 103-pound state final match is brought to you by Preferred Educational Software, Illinois' best in wrestling software since 1984, providing you with champion wrestling stats in the wrestling tourney. Thousands of users across the nation.
Chris Spangler from Equal Valley, 103.
Tony Ramos, Glenbar North, 103.
We're going to start in 103 in Class AA. Chris Spangler, 41-1. He'll take on the undefeated Tony Ramos.
I'm excited. I don't have anything to lose, so I'm just going to go out there and wrestle my hardest.
We are wrestling right now here on mat number 1. It is Mr. Spangler in his golden navy of Neuqua Valley. It is Ramos in his black singlet with the gold dot of Glenbar North.
My style of wrestling is kind of like Israel Martinez. He worked with me for about a year. I have a lot of offense. I like wrestling on my feet, but he's the one who taught me how to move. He got a lot of fakes, motion, sets up my shots, and I use that in my matches to my advantage because I'm not that big as a lot of 3-pounders. Like when I wrestled Hashimoto, he's real big. You gotta have speed to get under the guy's fakes.
Still nothing going as of yet. It looks like Spangler trying to get some position on what would be a possible shut. The referee calls stalemate. We're back into the middle, ready to wrestle. Not as big a crowd this time around as it was in recent years, where when you come in for the final session, everybody makes the mad dash to the front row.
And look here, Ramos in on a single at the edge of the mat. Spangler with the strong wizard. Going to keep that wizard there, and this is going to probably end up in a stalemate unless the position changes.
Well, Spangler's trying to get, blocking his hand in on the back leg of Ramos. They'll call stalemate. No score, 36 seconds remaining here in the first of 3 periods.
An adjustment made to Ramos from earlier matches in the tournament. His headgear is taped to his head. He had a bad cut in his head, I believe, in the first day of competition, and now they tape the headgear to his head. I've never seen that before.
Well, as long as the taping does not interfere or cause an advantage for Mr. Ramos, he is fine with it. He can wrestle as long as necessary. Both men still kind of feeling each other out here in this opening bout.
And an interesting thing for Ramos, he won the spot, the 103 spot. I don't know if it's by attrition or whatever, but he won that spot, taking out Caitlin Chase, last year's darling of the IHSA wrestling. She herself a state qualifier, but Ramos just winning the spot and holding it down all year long, marching in here undefeated.
And from what I understand, that may have been by default because Chase has been out with an injury for most of the season, not able to really do any kind of wrestling this year. They're looking for her to possibly make some noise when she goes to Colorado Springs and wrestles with the Olympic team.
Well,
she's looking at 2008.
Well, only those in the Glenbar North wrestling room know the true story, but the thing is, Tony Ramos is on the mat right here. Forward pressure on Chris Spangler. He's looking at, attempted cradle. He tried to hook up, didn't get it. Spangler's going to stay right there, and now he's going to come to his feet here, and he's going to get one escape. First point of the match for Chris Spangler.
We're in the second period, 1:23 to go. Spangler up 1-0 on Ramos. And if you're a freshman coming in undefeated and can finish the job undefeated, like we saw Albert White of Chicago St. Rita do a couple of years ago, boy, you're going to raise a lot of eyebrows nationwide, especially at this tournament. This tournament, one of the major factors in getting kids into the national rankings.
Well, anytime you win your state title or place in your state tournament and you wrestle competitive national schedules, you got something to look for in the national rankings. Ramos there now forcing a stalling call on Spangler. He had that Russian tie-up, and Spangler not doing a lot. Just kind of keeping the match close, but really he hasn't taken a good shot yet or anything. There's one, though. Spangler in on a single. Ramos with the wizard, back wizard, trying to, what you want to do in this situation is keep your hips over the man that's got the single leg.
And right now, a right single leg by Spangler as Ramos trying to sprawl his way and get out of that particular single leg predicament. 33 seconds left here. Stalemate called. Still 1-0 in favor of Spangler. However, he has been cautioned for stalling. If he gets hit with it again, that's a cheap point for Tony Ramos. We've seen a lot of stalling called this year, especially in key matches in the semifinals.
Well, it's not called enough for the Illinois wrestling fans. I'm sure they'll agree with me. It's either called too much or not enough, not the happy medium. And they're going to circle back in on the edge of the mat there. Spangler with his back to the edge of the mat. Ramos, both of them with an tied up there in the middle. Ramos has an outside tie. Spangler with the head.
9 seconds to go. Both men still tied up there. Trying to find that one good opening there, and the second period will go by the wayside. It's still 1-0 in favor of Spangler. However, it's Ramos that now has a choice. Of course, he'll go down, try to get the escape and tie the match up. Glenbard North coming in the defending team Class AA dual finalists. Should be interesting.
And there's our whistle, Alvin. Spangler. Pressure on the top. Now Ramos is out and free.
And let's see what we can do here now. We've got ourselves a head cut on the head of, it looks like.
Well, it's going to be Ramos again. He's been bleeding.
We're back to action here in the 103-pound weight class. 1-1 between Tony Ramos of Glenbard North and Chris Spangler of Naperville, Neuqua Valley. Both men in a very, very low tie-up with 1:38 left for regulation. This could be another match that could go overtime. If we do happen to get there, we'll explain overtime rules because they've changed a little bit this year. But like I said, when we get to that point, we'll let you know. In the black is Tony Ramos, and the gold and navy is Chris Spangler. Ramos trying to get in on a low single and blocked 3 times by Spangler. And Ramos a bit stocky for 103.
Yeah, you know, he's got good size on him there. Both kids do. Last year, Spangler was an undersized 103, and he paid for it in the loss column. He did qualify for the state tournament, but I believe that was it. But now this year, he's grown into the weight class, and he'll be just fine in this match here size-wise.
While we have a moment here, congratulations to B.J. Futrell of Chicago Mount Carmel taking 3rd this year. Kez Hashimoto taking 4th, a back-to-back state placer. 1-1, 36 seconds left. Still stalemate.
And neither kid really doing much. No stalling call, although the fans want that. But, you know, just not a lot going on.
29 seconds in regulation. I guess they're kind of content to try to get it to overtime. Low shuck now going back to a standard tie-up. 20 seconds to go. Both men trying to get that one position. And if you can get that position and make that move, especially as we go deep into this match, now a stall caution on Ramos. He better get going. Both men have been cautioned. 3, 2, 1. Overtime is here in the AA 103. Now, overtime basically here as we've got another bleeding situation. Sort of like bonus rounds. If we're still tied after that, we've got a 30-second tiebreaker.
Got it.
We must have a winner. And we are wrestling in overtime. Spangler and Ramos going at it. 12 seconds gone by in the overtime period. Left side chancery as both men trying to get that position. They are tied up ugly style. It doesn't look like they're stalling, you know, they're just kind of grappling for position.
Well, right now, what Spangler should be looking for with that wrist is a possible duck under, fireman's carry. You know, get that wrist, you can duck it.
26 seconds in overtime.
Ramos thought about switching to a Russian. Now he looks like he's going to go on attack. He's in on a single leg there.
On a
Can
single.
he finish it?
Nah. Well, no. He is well out of bounds. And a lot of edge wrestling this year at the tournament, especially in the earlier rounds.
Well, the thing about it is you can keep yourself out of danger at the edge of the mat. In the middle, a lot of bad things can happen.
Spangler trying to get on the low. It's Ramos stopping it, trying to whiz around for the 2. Can he get it with 3 seconds left? Spangler still whizzing. 1, no.
And a nice defense by Chris Spangler there, making sure that he didn't give up the cheap point as they go overtime again.
Double overtime. Chris Spangler scored the first point of the match, therefore he has choice. He will go down for his 30 seconds. Once again, these are bonus rounds, so to speak. These are must-wrestle bonus rounds. So with Spangler that's on the bottom, and if Ramos can ride this kid out for 30 seconds, remember, he has choice. He could score the escape. Well, never mind. Spangler put a kibosh on that. 2-1 your score, and now they're stalemating. 17 seconds left. The question is, can Ramos put in a takedown and force the momentum going into his bonus round?
Yes, without a doubt there. You know, you got that little edge on the lead, but you're still going to have to clear that last 30-second period. And that's the tough one. 5
seconds to go. Ramos trying to get in. Spangler stopping anything he can do. So the first of the 30-second overtime periods are done. Now, Ramos wants to go on the bottom. Here we go. Ramos up to his feet. Spangler got him around the neck. And Ramos brought back down to earth.
And that's nothing.
Oh, he gets out.
One escape there, though.
Holy mackerel. Not only did he get out, his headgear came off. Pageantry, the excitement, the tradition, everything that goes with it is what you like in this match. Now we got 2-2. I'd say next takedown wins this championship. Ramos at the edge of the mat trying to get Spangler. 7 seconds to go. 4, 3, 2. Can we go triple overtime? Yes, we will.
And the fans yelling, "Let's go Ramos!" As you can tell that.
Now the flip
Ramos.
of the disc in Spangler's favor. All he has to do is escape in 30 seconds. If he does, that's it. But if Ramos tilts him for near fall points, call it a day. And Ramos trying to get that near side cradle. Oh, is he out?
No, he is not out. That's a lift. And now he's going to be out. It's coming
Spangler
now.
trying to slip. 17 seconds.
Pressure on the head. Spin around. Put a seal in. He's not going to make it. Spangler's got to hurry.
Spangler is out. He wins the state championship and stops the undefeated run of Tony Ramos.
One escape, Brian Spangler.
Spangler in triple overtime wins it 3-2 in a great Far West suburban matchup.
The Class AA 112-pound state finals match is brought to you by Top Gun Freestyle Wrestling Team, Illinois' #1 freestyle club. To learn more, visit their website at www.topgunwrestling.com.
I'm Mike McCullough from Carl Sandburg High School, and I wrestle 112.
Josh Cradaville, Lincoln Way Central, 112.
This is a rematch or do-over from last year's state championship, and it's sort of like deja vu. Everything's happened all over again.
Here we go. You see Mr. McAuliffe in his blue and white of Sandburg. You see Mr. Cradaville in his all black with red lettering of Lincoln Way Central.
I'm an aggressive type of wrestler. I like to keep the action on the guy, use my style against his, and keep him off balance, and that's how I score most of my points.
Just like to say very special thank you to Dave Ganaway, the tournament director of the IHSA State Wrestling Individual Finals, for allowing us to bring you this great DVD. And man, I tell you, over the last couple of days, we have seen some great action going on here at Assembly Hall.
My style of wrestling is either I'm really aggressive or I'm really defensive. So it doesn't matter unless the kid comes out at me, then I go out at him.
At Assembly Hall. And folks, you have to make the pilgrimage here to East Central Illinois, to Champaign-Urbana, to Assembly Hall, and catch the state individual wrestling tournament on the 3rd Saturday in February. Especially the championship round, the pageantry, the excitement, the tradition, everything that goes with it is what you like in this match. You see Mr. Cradaville in his all black with red lettering of Lincoln Way Central, the former Lincoln Way Township High School before the split some 5 seasons ago, New Lenox Lincoln Way Central.
And Mike McAuliffe getting back in the championship match with a 10-2 pounding of Montini's Carson Beebe. And Josh Cradaville making a statement that he's the man. He came in and bumped off Josh Thompson. Josh Thompson only undefeated coming into the semifinal match. Josh Thompson of Argo.
Actually, you want to flip that. It was McAuliffe that beat Thompson and,
You're right.
and Cradaville that beat Beebe.
Right.
And right now it's Cradaville that picks up the opening two on the edge of the match.
You're right. I transposed those two, but it doesn't matter because now Cradaville's got a 2-0 lead. Cradaville is a leg rider here. And so be aware, he will throw those legs in at the drop of a heartbeat, and he's very good at it.
Right now, we've got ourselves a caution on Cradaville for just being a little too loose in the goose at the start of the referee's position. 19 seconds to go here in the first of 3 2-minute periods. Cradaville trying to turn McAuliffe, but he doesn't want to get himself too high that he finds himself in a pitting predicament.
Well, he's a little high right now, but he's fine. He dropped back down, and McAuliffe working hard, trying to break the hands, putting him on his hip to pop his hip.
No,
and,
not there as this period ends. Boy, talk about great action. The Jumbotron right above us. Something brand new here at Assembly Hall, and I must say a great addition to the atmosphere here at Assembly Hall at the University of Illinois. Correct me if I'm wrong, the coach's name here is Dan Johnson, correct?
For
Illinois.
Mark Johnson.
Mark Johnson. It was one of them Johnson boys. But a very special hello to Mark Johnson and the Fighting Illini wrestling team as they look forward to going to Oklahoma City, the new home of the Division I Collegiate Wrestling Championships at the Ford Center.
And McAuliffe in on a single here, Alvin. He was in on a deep, a great sprawl by Cradaville.
Yeah, and Cradaville picks up an escape point. He's up 3-0 here. 30 seconds gone by in the second period. But Josh Cradaville making noise for the underclassmen that are represented in this year's state individual championships.
Cradaville with a cross block there, and they're going to end up back on their feet, Alvin, right in the middle.
Here we go, 1:15 to go for the second period. Both men feeling each other out. They got that little one-hand three-point stance going on.
And there's McAuliffe going for the Sandberg Fireman, but I don't think he's going to get it.
Nah, unless he can whiz around and get out of the back door.
No, he can't get anything right here. He's going to try to get a single and keep that.
Yeah, both
Cradaville wants to get into the crotch there, Alvin, and work for the stalemate.
Well, that looks like that's what might happen unless somebody can get their head out, and then the stalemate is called. 49 seconds remaining here in the period. You see George Poltz for the Sandberg Eagles.
Mike Poltz.
Mike Poltz. He's got a son coming up later tonight in Conrad Poltz in one of these later weight classes. He's going to try and get himself a state championship, and he's just a sophomore.
All right, we got Cradaville in on a front headlock here. McAuliffe with his head down. He needs to try to get his head up, try to work his right. He can hit a drag to get his head free. But he needs to get up off the bottom here.
And I see this a lot from a lot of defensive wrestlers who want to try and stop very speedy offensive guys. Jimmy Kennedy did it in a quarterfinal at 125 AA against Mario Morgan of Mount Carmel, and that's why he is sitting in the state championship round tonight.
Well, without a doubt, and McAuliffe is a defensive wrestler. He will stop things, and Cradaville has that speed that we're talking about, and on the top of being a leg man. So really, really important that McAuliffe be on his defensive game.
Right now, third period is about to come about. It is Mr. McAuliffe's call, and McAuliffe will take the defensive position to try and put his first point on the board. Cradaville trying to bring one home for the Lincoln Way Central Knights. They've never had a state champion since making the name change, but that could change if Cradaville is successful in these next 2 minutes.
Cradaville 2 legs in now. You want to cover the hips, the bottom man's hips with your hips. He's kind of out to the side. Now he's got 1 leg in. And he needs to bump those arms out and get McAuliffe flat. There's 2 legs, Alvin.
Well, it's all about keeping the kids safe. That's the one important thing that these 18 officials that are calling the matches today wanted to do. They want to keep the kids safe. And look at this.
McAuliffe looking for an escape. He doesn't get it. He's back down to the mat. Cradaville following him to the mat.
And that was a good leg trip, sort of like a modified treetop. McAuliffe needs to get out of here. Now,
Well, at this point right now, Mike McAuliffe is wrestling the clock. Okay, it's 1 minute and 12 seconds left. He's down on the bottom. You got a leg man on top. None of that equates to anything good for Mike McAuliffe at this point.
yeah, Josh Cradaville, if he can hang on for the next minute and 6 seconds, he will become Lincoln Way Central's 7th state champion.
Right now he's got one leg in. He's looking for a turn here. If he can get his arm, far side cradle attempt, he's not going to get that. And McAuliffe really taking a pounding here with the leg riding and not working really hard to get up. He needs to get up off the bottom.
For a program not really known for state championships, as I'm seeing Josh Cradaville, the sophomore for New Lenox Lincoln Way Central, he's about a half minute away from taking home a bracket board himself. He's got a nice half modified chicken wing there on the left side now.
Well, the thing about Cradaville is he has a golden opportunity to be a 4-time finalist in his career. Should he pull off this championship here? He's a little high right now, and he almost got a spladle. Here's McAuliffe out the back door. Cradaville with an attempt to spladle McAuliffe.
Yeah, but
didn't work.
And too little too late as Josh Cradaville walks home with the state championship 4-2 in the 112-pound super lightweight division. He barely gets that one, and I think riding the young man out in the second period may have been the key in this one.
The Class AA 119-pound state finals match is brought to you by Marion Catholic High School's wrestling program, a nationally recognized college prep school where students graduate prepared for college, prepared for life.
I'm Chris Sipley from Barrington High School and wrestle at 119.
John Starzak, Providence Catholic, 119.
Now it's time for 119 pounds. John Starzak of New Lenox Providence Catholic. He'll take on Chris Sipley of Barrington. Starzak undefeated at 42-0. He's in the black and green singlet, and immediately a 2 takedown. John Starzak just so quick, ladies and gentlemen.
And the thing about Starzak is he's a pinner, and he's subject to pin this kid without a doubt. He definitely can pound some people.
I'm the first person from Barrington to walk in finals since the 80s, and even just to place it since 92, so that's exciting.
Cradle. That's about it.
Hold it. We've got a potentially dangerous hold there that stopped that particular pinning predicament, but a quick 5-0 lead to kick off the match by John Starzak. He'll cinch in on the match here and keep it rolling. See if he can pick up some more points. An inside cradle, bringing him back again. Boy, he's got that cradle on lockdown.
Alvin, I'm going to step out right now and bring in a former state champion to take over the 119-pound weight class. I'll let him introduce himself, but he's an IHSA state champion.
Well, actually, I know this gentleman all too well. He is Matt Kukla. He joins us from TheWrestlingRecap.com. TheWrestlingRecap.com kind enough to present our Day 1 results show. And Matt, welcome to the program.
Thank you very much. I'm a little out of breath. I just chased the kid around the whole arena right now. A little out of breath, but I'm ready to watch this action.
Here we go. 8-0 right now. A 3-point near fall by John Starzak, defending state champion. He is undefeated at 42-0. And John Starzak, boy, just so powerful, dominant, creative. Whatever you want to say about John Starzak, he knows how to wrestle. His brother Jerry was also in the tournament representing the Tinley Park program.
Yes. You know what, Alvin? Earlier today, I did predict him pinning his way in the finals. I just love seeing this kid in a Providence. Providence, back in the day, known for their dominance on top. Starzak, I think, fits in perfect. And as he rolls into his back in a cradle right now, we get more back points.
Chris Sipley of Barrington, the upset special, but boy, just a scoring machine is John Starzak. And boy, Starzak just manhandling this kid. But Chris Sipley, don't take anything away from this kid. Went through some good ones.
Definitely. Not by any means, but down by 11 in the first period, you don't want to be there.
We continue on, and now it is Mr. Starzak who will say, let me go on top. I know I can turn this kid a little bit. Could he tech fall, Mr. Sipley? Oh, there goes that inside cradle again. I mean, he is a cradling son of a gun. Now, gets in a far side half, trying to turn him. He may tilt the world with him here.
Starzyk's doing a lot on top. Different chain wrestling, we call it. All different moves.
Well, if we see the ball and chain come into effect, we know it's some chain wrestling going on. We'll go here in the second period, and John Starzyk trying to turn Chris Sipley of Barrington for more back points. Starzyk well on his way, unless something really strange happens, to becoming.
We see him Mills. My favorite move, and he's got him to his back. More back points.
Oh, he is rolling.
And a possible fall. And a fall.
He got him. And John Starzyk continues the dominance for the Providence Catholic Celtics. He is their 28th state champ. A pin in the second period. Congratulations to John Starzyk. Matt Cookley, a former Providence
I'm going
Celtics.
nuts right now. I got the hands in the air. I just realized the last time I saw somebody pin someone from Providence in the finals with the Mills was back in my day.
Wow. And Keith
That's
Healy.
awesome.
The Class AA 125-pound state finals match is brought to you by Ken Gerdes III Memorial Foundation, dedicated to supporting all Illinois wrestlers at all levels of competition.
Jimmy Kennedy, Fox Lake Grant, 125. Orion Prater, Plainfield Central, 125.
Jimmy Kennedy in his white with red Lehigh-style stripes and the word Fox Lake Grant coming up either side of his singlet. On the flip side, you've got Ryan Prater in the silver with Kelly green striping, the singlet of Plainfield Central, the former Plainfield High School, before it was split up into Central and South.
And what'll be interesting about Prater is similar to a style of like Mario Morgan, he's got the funk.
Still can't look past this finals match, even though many people say my previous two matches were the most difficult, but anything can happen.
Jimmy Kennedy is the man right now at the 125 weight class, him and Prater.
And right now, no score as of yet between the two. Jimmy Kennedy trying to earn back-to-back state championships. Never been done in the history of Fox Lake Grant High School.
It hasn't settled in right now, so I don't know. Maybe in a couple minutes I'll think about it, but I'm trying not to think about it because it's not over yet, so I want to win the finals.
No, it wouldn't be back-to-back. Kennedy took a third last year.
He took a third. Well, he'll be just the fourth state champion in the school's
He
history.
took a number 2 his sophomore year. I'm sorry, number 1 his sophomore year and a number 2 his freshman year.
So
losing the state championship title to Nick Fanthorpe as an undersized freshman.
And whoa, Jimmy Kennedy starting to bleed profusely at the head here.
I'll tell you what, I was talking to him earlier today. He's got one heck of a shiner on his. Jimmy Kennedy is just fun to watch. He stays in great position. You know, he does what he's got to do. He doesn't put himself in, imminent danger.
Right now, we still have no score with about 30 seconds remaining here in this first of 3 periods. Both men in a tie-up around the middle of the mat, and now they sprawl away and keep it moving. 25 seconds to go. Once again, they tie up in the middle of the mat. Prater tried to go for a double, and now they're tied up in the middle trying to see which position they can get. Kennedy may have the better advantage if Prater does not.
Prater's going to stay in the crotch there and draw the stalemate.
Well, I don't know about that.
Oh, he's in the crotch deep.
Way deep.
And they're going to go for the stalemate.
First period is done, and no score as of yet. Flip of the coin. Well, no flip just yet because Kennedy's got more blood coming out of his head. Oh, my goodness.
What the heck is going on over there with Jimmy Kennedy? He's bleeding pretty bad here.
That looks ugly, and his blood time is starting to run down.
But here we go.
And now a cut to start the second period by Jimmy Kennedy of Fox Lake Grant. Prater up 1-0, but Jimmy Kennedy can change that in a hurry. Both men in a tight chancery here in the middle of the mat. Now go back to a double wrist lock. Trying to get that Greco-Roman positioning. Prater trying to drop down and get a single leg. Nothing going there. Kennedy trying to keep his weight on top of Prater. And now Kennedy looking for probably a left side shuck if he can get it, or a duck under. Both men still circling the mat. Prater tried to go for it. Kennedy underneath. Both men are out. Stalemate. Will coming back to the middle. And more blood. Or is that thing just trying to come out of his nose?
And you see Prater out there kind of talking to himself a little bit.
Oh,
and
man.
Another stoppage of time. And once again, you got to wonder, does the stoppage of time really affect, getting into a rhythm and being able to do what you got to do?
Well, right now, so no blood time off of him for that. He's got about maybe just a shade over 2.5 minutes of blood time remaining. And now Kennedy trying to get in on a double leg, stopped momentarily by Prater. Both men back to a tie-up. Prater trying to get in, and Jimmy Kennedy goes behind him for two big ones. 2-1 Kennedy.
And right there, that was classic Jimmy Kennedy right there. If you've never seen this kid wrestle, that's all you need to see was right there. In on a shot. He didn't panic. He just stayed in good position. When Prater made the mistake, he popped his head out and got the two. We're talking classic Jimmy Kennedy there. They're going to love it in the Big Ten.
Kennedy and Prater going at it with a lot
Kennedy is on the attack. Definitely on the attack. Prater there getting back in the clutch, trying to fight off these singles. And this is what turned the trick for Jimmy Kennedy.
Wow, look at him scramble,
Good scrambling.
Folks.
Both guys are scrambling well. Prater following Jimmy Kennedy. That's what you want to do. You want to follow the guy.
Great.
And this is what turned the trick for Jimmy Kennedy yesterday when he wrestled the number 2 guy, Morgan. He took a lot of shots. He took shot after shot after shot on an offensive wrestler, just like Prater. Remember I told you Prater and Morgan have similar styles. Prater may have a little bit better defense than Morgan, but what they do is they're really offensive wrestlers. And Kennedy, who can play either way, he can go offensive or defensive. Right now, he's on the attack. Go tie it up here, but he will get back on that single leg.
15 seconds now, down to 10 seconds. Both men stalemating now in a double wrist lock, getting back up to a normal tie-up. Looking for that one hole, and now we go to the third period, all square at 2.
All right, and this is the interesting thing here. All great wrestlers can get off the bottom. If you're a Division I type wrestler, you're going to get off the bottom. Let's see what Kennedy does. Comes up, and he's brought right back down to the mat by Prater. Good job by Prater with the forward pressure, and he's trying to work what's known as a ball and chain. Bring that leg, that arm through. Well, he's let it go now.
Well,
looking for a far side cradle.
Yeah.
And he cradles up Jimmy Kennedy. All hell's going to break loose in this place.
And now, nothing going as of yet, as Kennedy will still be on the bottom with 1:43 left in regulation. This could be another overtime classic on the Class AA side. Kennedy trying to slip his way out, and Prater right here on his heels. Now Kennedy getting that opening. He's got it. Now he's up 3-2 with 1:35 left for regulation.
And did you notice what he did when he came out to the side? He reached up and grabs Prater's head to let him know, hey, I will take you to your back. Prater smartly give it up.
And look at that. Taking to his back is an understatement as Kennedy picks up 2 more. That's a 5-point turnaround.
And here's Prater with a reversal, and he's back in the match.
5-4. Kennedy up by 1 now. So Ryan Prater's telling folks, hey, the Suburban Prairie Conference ain't nothing to be messed with this year, folks.
25. If you looked at the 125s out here at the state tournament, he was, for the most part, not the shortest, but the thinnest. But right now, it doesn't matter as he's holding his own with Jimmy Kennedy.
And Kennedy right now starting on the bottom in the latter part of this third period. He's up 5-4, and he's trying to get an escape to put some pressure on Prater to get a takedown. Should Kennedy escape out of this?
Prater needs a turn is what he needs. He needs a turn. He better watch the Granby. Here it comes by Kennedy. He's setting it up now. He's switched now just to hold that single. Kennedy basically going to let this kid ride him out.
33 seconds to go, and now Prater just a bit high.
Oh, he's quite a bit high. He's in very danger here. If Kennedy shakes himself loose, that's going to be all she wrote.
23 seconds to go here in regulation.
And Ryan Prater now wrestling the clock.
Prater trying to turn Kennedy for some back points, and now it's Kennedy that picks up an escape, 6-4. If Prater can somehow take down Kennedy and put back points on top of that, this will be one of the biggest upsets in state championship history. 10 seconds to go.
Well, if you're Ryan Prater, this is where you want to be on your feet. He went for a slide by, didn't work. He's tied up here by Kennedy. He's got to continue to shoot.
2 seconds to go, and Prater Cannot get him. Jimmy Kennedy will pick up his second ever state championship. He ends his career an undefeated senior at 44-0. Congratulations to a 6-4 decision by Jimmy Kennedy of Fox Lake Grant.
I'm here with Jimmy Kennedy, state champion. 125. You were second, first, third, and now you're back to the top. Tell me how it feels.
Oh, it feels good to actually leave on a winning note, and I'm just glad I could get that win out of there.
Now, you kind of had problems with, blood throughout the match. It was hard to kind of get a rhythm. Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, it kind of disrupted my momentum because I know I could have worn him down after a while, and he was just getting break after break. And plus, it's hard to breathe properly with your nose clogged.
The Class AA 130-pound state finals match is brought to you by Ken Gerdes III Memorial Foundation, dedicated to supporting all Illinois wrestlers at all levels of competition.
I'm Brandon Prieston, and I wrestle for Carl Sandberg at 130.
Dalton Bullard, Belvedere, 130.
And here comes the match that everybody's been talking about. As soon as they present the awards here, you're going to see Dalton Bullard from Belvedere, a three-time state qualifier, state placer, and Brandon Prieston, a state champion off of the state championship Sandberg Eagles.
My style of wrestling, it's just basically just attack, 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 and never stop going. I mean, that's the only way I know how to wrestle. So if I don't stop, I think I'll be fine.
And in the blue, Brandon Prieston, who comes in with a 47-0 record, trying to close out his career as an undefeated state champion. No score as of yet between the two young men.
My style of wrestling is pretty aggressive, I want to be up in your face, hard shots. I got a little funk to me, I do some nice little slick stuff. And on top, I ride people, that's what I do.
This time, I believe, Mr. Twister, that a state champ is repeated with two different schools.
Yes, it is. And one of the most interesting things, I've got John Starzak here. Johnny, congratulations, you're a two-time state champ. And just tell us, you changed singlets and you still got the job done. How hard was it?
It was hard. It took a lot of hard work, and that's about it. I mean, changed singlets, but I still had to wrestle, go out there and do what I had to do.
And for those that don't know, Starzak was the 112-pound state champion last year for St. Rita, Chicago St. Rita, changed schools, and went on to win the title tonight for Providence Celtics. And John, we were all watching you. I don't know if you know that no wrestler has ever pinned his way through the state title. Just a little encouragement for you for next year, because I know you're capable of that. You came up a little short against Deneen. Out here now is Brandon Prieston. He's going for the same thing. What are your thoughts on your ability to pin? I think you get something like 95% of your matches end up in a cradle for a pin.
Yeah. I mean, people think I go out there just to go out cradle right away and pin them. It's not like that. Like, I go out there just to hit whatever move's there, and that's always open for me.
And you kind of said that like people are slighting your wrestling ability, like they make that statement, oh, he's just a pinner. You're kind of saying you're a wrestler, right?
Yeah, I mean, like, I could pin, but I also take people down and stuff when I want. Like, not when I want, but when it's there.
John Starzak of the New Lenox Providence Celtic Catholics, he picks up this year's 119-pound championship as we right now immediately go back mat side. 2-0 right now. Brandon Prieston leading Dalton Bullard here in the 130-pound class light middleweight championship here in the state of Illinois as we keep it rolling here. And now it is Mr. Prieston that'll be on the bottom to start the second of 3 2-minute periods. Bullard will slip in his black singlet with purple striping, and immediately Bullard trying to put Prieston back down on the mat, and it's Bullard trying to get a little feisty on the pinning predicaments.
Well, Bullard totally capable of pinning someone, one of the strongest wrestlers in the state. Actually, these are two of the stronger wrestlers in the state. They tell me that when Brandon Prieston grabs you, it feels like a grown man has grabbed you.
Look at this. Not only is Prieston going to probably get out of it, he's going to get a reversal. And look at, he may get a pin here to pin all of his way to the crib. Oh, baby!
If he does, he can become the first wrestler ever to pin his way to a state title.
Well, he's got this cinched in on the right side. You need 2 seconds. Boy, and Bullard is to put it up. Can he do it? Down on the mat, 2 seconds underneath. Priest just pushing all of his weight down. Bullard not giving up an inch. He bridges again, and he gets out of it. He could reverse it here.
And we're talking about 2 nationally ranked wrestlers here, Dalton Bullard and Brandon Priest, 2 of the best in the business here.
Oh, my goodness. Brandon Priest came so close to pinning Dalton Bullard here at the state tournament, but Dalton Bullard said, I'm not gonna let you make me the one for history.
And you know, this is a really funny state, Illinois. I was talking to Dalton Bullard the other day, and all these kids at these lower weights met each other for years, and they all had their cross to bear. It turned out that Mario Morgan couldn't beat Dalton Bullard when it counted. Bullard had lost 3 times to Brandon Prieston. Prieston couldn't beat Fanthorpe, and none of them could beat Fanthorpe. You know, Jimmy Kennedy had his problems with Fanthorpe. It's a pecking order, and you got to find your spot. But my hat is off to Dalton Bullard. He dropped down from 135 and took on the Brandon Prieston challenge, and he's here tonight. The heck with history or whatever, he's going to take on his nemesis.
7-1 is your score. 17 seconds remaining here in the second period. For those of you just joining us here online and on our DVD special on IHSA TV, we are at the 2006 IHSA State Individual Wrestling Championships Assembly Hall at the University of Illinois in Champaign-Urbana, right on the city limits. Second period has ended 7-1. Prieston leading Bullard, and now it's Bullard that says, let's go mano y mano. I want to take you down, brother.
Well, the thing about it is he's got a big lead on Bullard. So basically Bullard, he's running out of nickel and dime time. He's going to have to go for the big one in a moment. He's got about 30 seconds to nickel and dime him, and then he's got to swing for the fences.
Both men in a rather medium tie-up here in the middle. Prieston trying to go a little bit low, and Bullard going a little bit lower here. No, this is not the tango, ladies and gentlemen, and it's not the limbo. This is wrestling.
Bullard went for the whip over there. Didn't get it nice back on the front headlock series.
1:27 to go for the third period. Stalemate call, a stalling.
On the man on top, he's got to be trying to turn the wrestler on the bottom, and the wrestler on the bottom has got to be trying to work his way up. Front headlock again for Bullard. Might want to try to switch that off and come around. He's got to get points and get them in a hurry.
Yeah.
He can't afford to cut him because that's giving him points. He can't do 2 for 1. Doesn't have the time.
7-1 is your score. Prieston leading Bullard here in the 130-pound light middleweight championship. A minute to go here in this third period. And Bullard trying to find some kind of way to get out of an ankle pick by Prieston and get himself around the back. Prieston's in a rather prone position right now. Any other wrestler could easily have whizzed themselves out of the ankle pick and gotten themselves 2, but that's how good Brandon Prieston is.
I think these 2 guys will be meeting up in the future. Prieston recently signed last week with Northwestern, and Dalton Bullard just told me this week that he's leaning heavily towards Wisconsin.
Ooh, so they could be in the Big Ten championships down the road.
Or just a duel.
Hey.
Or at several tournaments. All of these kids that we're seeing tonight, and some of the ones that we saw earlier in the day in the place matches, will meet down the road. The wrestling doesn't necessarily stop here. There's a lot of Division I wrestlers in Illinois.
And not only that, in the case of Mario Morgan, there's a lot of lower level collegiate wrestlers too. D1 just ain't the end all be all. You got Division II, Division III, NAIA, the JUCO levels have some good wrestlers too. And speaking of good wrestlers, congratulations to Brandon Prieston, who comes out with a 7-3 victory over Dalton Bullard of Belvedere. And Dalton Bullard, not a shabby 42-3 record to end his season.
I'm here with Brandon Prieston, the 130-pound state champion. You had a repeat of last year's finals. Last year you went out and beat him. This year you did the same thing. Talk about it a little bit.
Well, Dalton, he's a very tough kid. He's very strong, and he knows a lot of moves. So I knew what to expect, though, because I faced him a lot during my high school career. And he's a strong kid, so I had to work with that a little bit.
The Class AA 135-pound state finals match is brought to you by Top Gun Freestyle Team, Illinois' #1 freestyle club. To learn more, visit their website at www.topgunwrestling.com.
Conrad Poles, Carl Sandberg, 135 pounds.
Jeremy Ellingwood, Plainfield Central, 135.
We continue on here. The 135-pound weight class is now underway here in front of us at Assembly Hall. In the blue and white, you see Conrad Poles of Orland Park Sandberg. In the silver and green, you see Jeremy Ellingwood, the junior sensation from Plainfield Central. Poles needing an overtime win over Vince Ramos of Glenbard North.
I have Conrad Poles in the finals, and I've already wrestled him twice, once at Dvorak, and I stuck him with the Mills, and then I had him at sectionals for the finals, and I stuck him. So.
To get himself into the round of 2. Meanwhile, Jeremy Ellingwood with a pin of Steve Zimmerman of St. Rita, a pin that unfortunately caused Zimmerman to go to the hospital a little bit earlier today, but we do understand that Steve Zimmerman is okay. He'll be back ready to wrestle next season.
Next Tuesday.
Well, yeah.
My opponent's Jeremy Ellingwood from Plainfield Central. I've wrestled him twice. I wrestled him once at Dvorak. I was winning 4-1, and then I got pinned, and I also got pinned in the sectional finals in the first period. I'm going to really have to work on staying solid and finishing solid because I know he's a big move type of wrestler, and if I just stay solid, I think I can beat him.
We are back here on the IHSA State Wrestling Individual Finals here at Assembly Hall in Champaign, Illinois, University of Illinois. I'm Alvin Washington here. With me right now, a third place finisher at the 130-pound weight class from the Mid-State 6, Donnie Cotton of East Peoria. Welcome aboard.
How you doing?
Everybody looking for you to be the upset special this year. You were just rolling through the top of the bracket until you got to Dalton Bullard, and Bullard just kind of outlasted you there 6-4, but you wound up third, and not enough is said about the Central Illinois wrestlers.
Yes.
Give us an idea of what it's like to wrestle kids like from Peoria Woodruff, Peoria Manual, Peoria Central, all up and down that corridor, Bloomington, Normal, all up and down that Peoria River Valley. What is it like to wrestle in that particular area?
In that area, you have there's a couple kids that are pretty tough. You know, you got to go to a couple open tournaments, and there'll be every once in a while there'll be a tough kid out there. You know, I wish I'd wrestle more up here in Chicago. You know, and get a couple tougher matches. But there are a couple tough matches in the Peoria area. And
as kids like you continue to excel at the state level, are people now going to start taking notice and say, hey, Central Illinois is nothing to be playing with? As we look at the annals of Peoria, you know, there's been only 3 state champs come out of there, 1 from Richwoods and 2 from Woodruff. But that's not to say that the Mid-State 6 does not have good wrestlers, and you is a perfect example. A third-place finish in a very tough 130-pound division.
Yes.
Your impressions of the field this year at 130 pounds?
I thought I knew 130 was going to be tough this year, and you know, I figured I'd stay in 130, you know, give it a shot, and you know, you got to wrestle the tough to become one of the best, you know, and I just wanted to go after him, you know, and I'm glad I made it down here.
And a very special hello to everybody in DeKalb, Northern Illinois University, the Convocation Center. Beautiful facility, if I say so myself, for Team Dual State.
Oh, yes, it is. Actually, it's almost too big. Let me make another political statement. They need to bring in 16 teams instead of 8 because the place is so big.
Yeah. Right now, back to action. 2-0 right now. It is, believe it or not, Ellingwood leading Poltz here in the middle part of the second period. 1:08 to go. And now it's Poltz trying to sneak out the back door on the left side. He almost is out. Not yet. Ellingwood keeping his hands in, trying to keep Poltz down on the mat. Mike Poltz's son, a sophomore, 44-4 this year. Ellingwood, a junior, 43-4. So 8 losses between the two gentlemen, but Conrad Poltz with that team dual state experience helping his squad win their first ever state championship. Now, we've already had a state champ from Sandberg already, and Brandon Preeson. If Mr. Poltz can pull things off here, he would become Sandberg's 15th state champion.
Well, the thing about it is Sandberg's got a ton of guys in the finals, so they're going to pick up quite a few medals tonight, one way or the other. And, let's be honest, right at this point, Sandberg's the best high school wrestling team in the state of Illinois. Therefore, it only makes sense that they have the best individuals.
Not only that, they have been one of the top 10 teams in the nation the last 18 months, according to AmateurWrestlingNews.com and numerous other publications. Hold it. We've got ourselves a caution on Mr. Ellingwood. He left the trough a little bit too quick there.
Well, when you're talking about best teams in the nation, it's been questioned about Sandberg as far as wrestling some of those teams because Illinois had the rule where they couldn't travel. That's changed, and next year they'll go all over. Here we go here. Ellingwood still on the offensive attack and just all over.
Conrad Poles.
Yeah, just all over him here, 2-0. And, that's what you got to do in the in a championship match. The theme has been, I got to wrestle my match. I have to wrestle my style and do what I do.
Well, right now, Mr. Ellingwood has been hit with a stalling caution. And the stalling call has been the most controversial call this year.
Well, it's just felt that it's not called enough or it's called at the wrong time.
Meanwhile, back to the match 2 seconds to go as Ellingwood cannot turn any more of Mr. Poles. Now I believe it's Poles' decision to go. And he will, looks like he'll
down.
No, doesn't. Well.
Signal from the corner is go down.
All right.
Now, and that's the thing. That's the move. Okay, it's 2-0. He needs to get off the bottom and get the escape point. Putting him on top, what if he doesn't turn him? He's going to burn up the clock and lose. You got to get up, get a point, get a takedown, win 3-2.
All right, now let's see what happens here. A minute 51 for regulation.
Did you know that at Alvin in college, average the college wrestlers down on the bottom is 5 seconds?
Look at this. And could there be a flea? Oh, no flea there. Boy, Ellingwood very close to getting called for fleeing the mat as Poles was deep in on a double.
But it's going to be hard to get that call because Poles was driving him. You don't have to let yourself go down because the guy's got his hands on you.
Both men tying up here in the middle of the mat. A minute 28 to go for regulation. We've already had one overtime match, and now Poles contended. Look at this. Quickly. Can he get the 2? Yes, sir. You were right on the call. Get the 1 for escape. Get the 2 for the takedown. He's up 3-2. But the question is, can he hold it?
Now he's got to ride him. He's got to ride him. If he gives up, gets in danger, he's got to go 2. Got to give up 1, not 2 points. In other words, if you get in danger, give him the escape. We'll go tie it up. You don't want to turn it into a 2 or a reversal or 5-point. Not a 5-point move, but something bad.
But the main thing is that you got to continue to wrestle aggressively because these officials, these 18 officials, are seasoned enough where they can see when a kid is stalling. And now there's Ellingwood with the 1, and we're tied at 3. Now the question is who'll get this next takedown to control the rest of this championship match.
And one of the things that's really held Poles back in his career is he's been injured, major injuries. And I was talking to Eric Siebert, who's from the University of Illinois by chance, and he was telling me how this is the first time in Poles' career he's been healthy. And, it's very hard to wrestle when you have major injuries.
35 seconds to go here in this regulation third period. There's Ellingwood deep in on a front chancery, trying to get the headlock series going. Now he's trying to turn it into 2, and good block that time by Poles. 19 seconds for regulation. Both men circling on the far edge of the mat. They need to get back in the center.
And if you notice how Ellingwood turned Poles around, put him on the edge of the mat, and then took the shot so that if he could score, he wouldn't get in danger. There he is on a shot. Poles on a shot, not a great shot, half-hearted.
And Ellingwood trying to go around and try to possibly upset the kid. We're going to overtime. We are going to overtime again. 135-pound championship on the line. We're back to action here. Alvin Watson with Mr. Twister, Andre Morgan at Assembly Hall, the University of Illinois, Champaign-Urbana. First takedown wins here in overtime, 135 pounds.
Deep.
Pulls in deep on a double, turning it over. No control. No, boy.
If he comes around the back, it's going to be 2. If he takes, there's the 2 coming.
There it is. Good night, Conrad Poles, your 135-pound champ.
And Poles celebrating right with the Sandberg fans, and just wonder how that young man feels. His father's the coach. And he won a state title with his dad in the chair. There's no better feeling than that, than to do that with your father in the chair.
Conrad posts a tough 5-3 victory over Jeremy Ellingwood of Plainfield Central, and the Wildcats again denied.
I'm here with Conrad Poles, 135-pound state champion. You went out, you got the big victory in overtime. Tell me what it was like out there.
It was a real close match. You know, it was tough. I knew it was going to be tough. Wrestled him a couple times before. He's actually beaten me, but I knew if I stayed solid and went to my good moves, then I could win, and I did.
The Class AA 140-pound state finals match is brought to you by Top Gun Freestyle Team, Illinois' #1 freestyle club. To learn more, visit their website at www.topgunwrestling.com.
Matt Cusick, Kyle Sandberg, 140.
Matthew Lee, West Aurora High School, and 140.
140 pounds, you got Matt Cusick, the junior from Sandberg. He'll take on Aurora West Matt Lee. Both men only one loss on their records this year. Matt Lee, his last chance at a state title. Get some money right now. Matt Cusick with an opening 2-point takedown.
I do a bunch of different things. I'll shoot, I'll tie up, I'll throw sometimes if I need to. And on top, I kind of just grind it out and ride on them.
The blue and white of Sandberg, Mr. Lee, who probably is overmatched in this division. He in the off red, white, and navy of Aurora West. And Cusick getting here with a big fall over Sean Kinney of Naperville, Neuqua Valley.
And Matt Lee has been top ranked for a good portion of the season.
I remember watching the state finals down here whenever I was in, I want to say, 6th grade. I was watching Israel Martinez. And I told myself in my head that, that would be me one day, and senior year, here it is.
Back in, he immediately got back on the winning trail. Cusick, state qualifier every year, made a big splash as a freshman. Came in with Albert White, and they were just the wonder childs.
and they are the picks to click in the class of 2007. Albert White coming up later on at 145 pounds, and the question is, will Albert White pretty much do what he's been doing the whole year, and that's pretty much manhandling everybody in the kitchen sink?
Well, right now we've got a 2-1 lead for Cusick. Lee getting an escape now. They're both wrestlers in the middle of the mat, kind of dancing around here. And, you'll see a lot of wrestlers touching the forehead. They're trying to get their spacing. They're trying to create a distraction to set up that shot.
52 seconds left in the first of 3 periods. And both men back to a tie-up in the middle. Cusick trying to find that shuck shot on the right side. Now they're still tying up, coming close to the near side edge of the mat. 35 seconds to go. Lee trying to go in on a double, and look out, here comes Cusick. Edge of the mat, he's got 2.
Ken Watkins, the official in charge. AAU Official of the Year last year.
Wow, it shows. No controversy from this gentleman.
Well, hold that thought. You never know in this place. Controversy can happen real quick around here.
Yeah, we've seen that in a whole mess of matches. 25 seconds here for the opening period. 4-1 your score. Cusick leading Lee here on the mat, and Lee trying to get himself up, not able to get out of the grasp of Cusick. And so Lee will go back down again with 17 seconds remaining in the period. Hold it.
False start.
Cusick a little bit too quick to the trough there. You got to hold up before the whistle starts. There we go again. And Cusick right there on top of Lee with 15 seconds to go. We are back here on exclusive coverage of the 2006 Illinois High School Association State Individual Wrestling Championships. We're here at Assembly Hall, the campus of the University of Illinois, Champaign-Urbana. Alvin Washington alongside Mr. Twister, Andre Morgan. A very special hello to everybody who's watching our DVD coverage on the IHSA television network. Special hello to Dave Ganaway, the executive director of this tournament and also director of officials in all sports statewide with the IHSA. If not for him, Andre.
Well, the thing about it right here I'm looking at now is 4-1. I got Cusick in control, and Matt Lee really needing to get some offense going. He's got an escape. Now he's within a takedown. Good job getting off the bottom, and he knows he's got to go to work. You do not want to go into the third period trailing by more than 2 points.
Especially when the leader is an underclassman. We keep it moving.
He wrestles like he's an upperclassman.
Yeah, ain't that the truth?
Well, he is. He's a junior. That's an upperclassman.
Yeah, but see, Lee's a senior.
Right.
Seniors don't want to lose to juniors. That's for doggone sure.
Back in the middle of the mat, circling around, both trying to get a good position. Fake slide by Lee.
90 seconds to go here for the second period. Both men still in a tie-up on the near side edge of the mat. Now they go, and now Lee called for a stalling as he holds the side of the head of Cusick. I don't know if that's legal or not, folks. But anything to get that one shot. Minute 10 to go here in the period. Lee trying to go in and look like he conked elbows and heads with Cusick. Cusick trying to push Lee back. Lee won't have none of that. A minute to go here in the period. 4-2. Cusick leading Lee. This is the 140-pound middleweight championship. The 145 super middleweights coming up next. And now both men just kind of holding each other like they're dancing with the stars. Here we go. 38 seconds remaining here for the second of 3 periods. Both men still trying to feel each other out here. And now both drop to their knees, come back up. They'll try it again, tie up in the middle of the mat. 23 seconds to go. Not much action so far here. And right now, here comes a possible try. Look out! Cusick and Lee almost hit the dirt on the near side of the mat as they almost hit the parquet floor. And if you can see here on the orange outer edges, ladies and gentlemen, the basketball floor flanking our 2 mats here today. You're looking at the AA mat here on the DVD. Of course, you can always flip over to Class A action to see what the small schools are doing as well.
Well, I'm not quite sure. That may be a double section. I think you get both discs when you make the purchase, so don't worry about the noise you hear in the background. It's just Dakota celebrating. Check out, put it on the disc, and you can hear it for yourself. But right back here, this is 4-2, third period. Matt Lee having to get to work. No, he's really got to get to work. Now he needs a 3-point move instead of a 2-point move.
5-2 now is your score as the escape made by Matt Cusick of Orland Park Sandburg. He's trying to pick up the 16th title, and now he picks up another point on a stall call on Lee. That is now 6-2. And, boy, Cusick really picking up a lot of cheap points here and there.
Well, the thing about it is, I don't know if they're cheap points. Lee is not really doing a lot. And you're in the state title match. You got to go to work, baby. You're sticking around, playing around, and not really getting on it. You got to get on your giddy up, especially when it's a minute 23 left. You need 4 points, and this guy's got great defense. You need to step it up right now, Matt Lee. Go get him.
1:19 to go here in the third period, and Matt Lee needs something quick and fast in a hurry because Mr. Cusick could be content to ride this one out. Now Cusick down on the ground in a front headlock. He's getting pushed back by Lee, and now Cusick spins around in position to possibly get a 2 if he can get on top of Lee. 57 seconds to go here in the third period. Stalemate back to the middle. Let's try it again, see what's going on. Duck under. Lee almost fleeing to the edge of the mat and getting pushed out that way. 52 seconds remaining here in this 140-pound weight class. Now another stall call on Lee. He's really digging himself a hole. 7-2 now to score. 39 seconds to go, and you hear the noise in the background. There, the Dakota folks again. I think they got another one at the top of the podium. If you want to know what the heck's going on with Dakota and the rest of the Class A folk, the other disc on the DVD that you can purchase at IllinoisMatmen.com. Check out the Class A action. The flashy, classy A host is doing the play-by-play over there.
Right over there at the A booth. They're in the same corner we're in, opposite of us. And they got a special guest, Rob Sherrill, from Win Magazine sat in and did some of the matches for Class AA. Also, the writer for Illinois Best Weekly, Rob Sherrill, does both. And one of the most knowledgeable wrestling men in the state and a former Chicago Sun-Times writer. So Class A is being well taken care of over there on the A disc. Meanwhile, back here on D, Matt Cusick, boy, Sandberg Eagles just flying ridiculously high tonight.
Yeah, that's
7-2.
7-2 the final. Matt Cusick getting some really cheap points down the stretch, but Matt Lee really not doing too much of anything in the match to state his case.
Well, you're exactly right. You know, you got to go after a guy. This is the state title match. If you want to win, you got to do something.
Ready? I'm here with Matt Cusick, the 140-pound state champion. How does it feel to win a title?
It feels amazing. It's what I've been striving for the past 3 years, and past 2 years I've been choking down here, and I felt like I wrestled flawless this whole tournament. So right now I'm ecstatic.
You know, you got 5th last year at the weight below. What do you think the difference was in your style of wrestling from last year to this year that allowed you to go to the top?
This year I definitely thought I could use my speed a lot more than last year. They were a little quicker and less strong, and this year I kept my same speed, so I felt like I was quicker than everyone and had more awareness and agility.
The Class AA 145-pound state finals match is brought to you by Bill Burris and Jim McFedrin.
Albert White, St. Rita High School, 145.
Hi, I'm Joey Katowski. I go to Neuqua Valley High School, and I'm in the 145-pound weight class.
We are set for the 145-pound weight class championship, or as a lot of people have seen it throughout the last couple of days, the Albert White Invitational. Albert White of Chicago St. Rita, 47-0. I'm sorry, folks, this kid don't need to be in high school. This kid, just watch. If you're watching a DVD, just watch this kid. Or if you're listening in, you're about to listen to something.
My style of wrestling is stay offensive and aggressive.
Well, without a doubt, the guy is, you know, a combination of speed, power, technique. Nobody works harder than Albert White. Here we go, and as the whistle blows in.
My finals opponent is Albert White. I've lost to him twice in the past. He's a great competitor. You know, I got to keep him moving. I got to be aggressive, you know, just as aggressive as the next guy. And, you know, just see what happens. I'm just going to go out there and wrestle my match.
Let's get back immediately over here to the 145-pound weight class championship, the super middleweights. Right now, 2-1, Albert White of Chicago St. Rita leading Joey Katowski of Naperville, Neuqua Valley. And St. Rita, no slouch as of late. They've been one of the more dominant teams of the 1990s when it comes to wrestling, Andre.
Oh, without a doubt. St. Rita, well, not of the new century. You know, they've won 2 state titles in the last 3 years. And Rita definitely is a quality program, and they came from nowhere, from oblivion. And, you know, there was a time when St. Rita had, like, barely could field a team, and all of a sudden, whoosh.
Because of one person, Dan Carroll, coming over from the Weber program. When he was with Weber, he did get a couple of state champions in his stead, but it's the way he's been able to build that St. Rita program, one champion at a time. It started with Mike Boyd in 2001. They could pick up their 6th title with this particular matchup.
Right here, this would be Rita's 6th title?
This would be Rita's 6th state champion in their history.
Well, what I want to look at is what does Joey Katowski got to say about that, because I'm sure he's going to put his pants on one leg at a time, you know, and that's the deal here. Joey Katowski marched in here with a 34-2 record, so he didn't take a lot of losses throughout the year.
Yeah, well, right now
he picked up a win against Andrew Varabernik, St. Charles. Then he went on to the second round. Andrew Brewer fell by the wayside, 7-2. I'm sorry, 10-8. Then Joey Katowski dropped off Marty Murphy from Providence Celtics, a legendary program. And so Joey Katowski, in his own right, just as qualified as Albert White. And I think he's not going to go down without a fight, Alvin.
He's down 2-1, and Albert White choosing to be on the bottom after deference of choice by Mr. Katowski. And Albert White still up on his feet. Only 3 losses in his prep career. He was undefeated in his freshman season, and he really made a lot of noise. Now a stall call on Katowski. You don't want to give up any cheap points against Albert White.
Well, because the problem is you can't make up points you give to Albert White. You're not going to take him down. He's got great defense.
And he's basically a man-child out there.
Well, if you think back to his first state title, Alvin, Albert White just hit about 5 power doubles in a row and said, hey, boom, I'm going to take this bracket board. And this is from a kid that never played football.
Right now is Katowski trying to get in on a low left single on Albert White, who slips his way off of the mat. We're neutral, 4-1 your score with 1:07 to go in the second of 3 periods. And the way that Albert White goes about his business is it's almost like a Jekyll and Hyde kind of situation. He's real soft-spoken and shy, not too many words spoken off the mat. You get his headgear on, he is an animal.
Well, I don't think there's much I can say after that, Alvin. You got him on lock right now.
I mean,
9-1 and
4-1.
4-1. Oh, I got bad eyes. I'm almost 50. Sorry.
And almost another double leg takedown. And I mean, he's just built like a brick outhouse.
And that's a fake single there that doesn't work. Back up to his feet.
30 seconds to go here in the second period.
You can't let him stall you out like Joey Katowski's doing right now. He's got Joey Katowski shut down. Joey Katowski needs to get free and get some shots.
Now White and Katowski just still kind of chancing here. No, oh, look out. Holy mackerel.
And,
he almost got 2 on the edge of the mat there.
And one of the things that is not talked a lot about Albert White is his speed. He just got cat-like quickness. That little exchange right there at the end of the mat was a perfect example of it. Another foot inside the circle, that's another takedown, and it was all built off of speed.
An escape by Katowski. He makes the match 4-2. This is one of the closest matches we've seen Albert White in our few years of covering the young man.
Well, it is the state championship match here. Neuqua Valley with Coach Rudiger at the helm is a solid program. And, this kid's no scrub out here. I just want to, Albert White is great, but this kid's no scrub.
Yeah. Katowski coming in 37-2, some quality competition. Albert White with his own invitational, and now Albert White trying to fight off of a power leg lift and a treetop, and White just like, okay, off my leg, son.
White needs to get a better wizard. He almost blew it there.
Yeah.
And there's a wake-up call from Joey Katowski saying, hey, I'm in this match. I don't care that you got 2 bracket boards. I'm here for my win, too.
Still in stalemate. Albert White up 4-2 on Joey Katowski. If White pulls off the win, not only does he have 3 of the St. Rita possible 6 state championships, but the rumors could, well, not the rumors, forget the rumors, the shouts are going to be all over the joint. 4 straight.
A nice job by Albert White on the elbow bump, dropped to a single leg, went with the single trip, and 2 takedown.
And a rare loosening of the headgear for Mr. Albert White. He's up 6-2. Albert White from that very famous Harvey Twister's Kids program that has produced such greats as, of course, your son Mario Morgan, who took 5th this year at 125. The Williams brothers, Steve, TJ, and Joe.
Christian Brantley coming up later on tonight. Cartice Lloyd just picked up a medal a moment ago.
Travis Hammonds last year, the 160-pound champ for Chicago Hubbard.
And once again, more quickness by Albert White. Just the way he defends with speed. It's just a beautiful blend. And hopefully that Albert will be in one of the major college programs and we'll be able to continue his run to a state title.
Albert White leading 6-3, and looks like his run to 3 state crowns is over. He gets the 3rd crown in a row, and he ends his season undefeated, 48-0. Now the talk begins. 4 straight.
Well, I don't even, you know the talk is going to begin, but Albert White is just something that's special, and we need to pay attention to it closely.
I'm here with Albert White, the 145-pound state champion. That's his 3rd state title in a row that he's won. He's got 1 year left. Tell me how you feel.
I feel good. I could have wrestled that match a little bit better, but he was waiting on me. He was waiting on me to attack. I scored when I had it.
The Class AA 152-pound state finals match is brought to you by Overtime School of Wrestling, building champions at every level.
I'm Mike Benefield, Montini Catholic, in Lombard, and 152.
My name is Justin Hale from Bloomington, and my weight class is 152.
Mike Benefield of Lombard Montini, a 2-time Class A state champ, now looking for his first AA title, and this hasn't been done before. Could there be a state champ to repeat in 2 different classes?
Oh, no, that's not true, Alvin. David Douglas won at Luther South and then came on over and won 3 state titles in Class AA for Thornridge.
So he could be, Benefield could be the second one to do it, and he quickly, a 2 takedown on Justin Hale of Bloomington.
My style of wrestling, I think, is mostly just get points early, just a lot of neutral, a lot of fighting, hand fighting, a lot of attacks, fakes, trying to work those points early and just keep getting them and scoring and try to get a few back points off takedowns, try to get turns off takedowns, just that.
Take nothing away from Justin Hale. A pretty decent road for himself, knocking off Taylor Osborne of, believe it or not, St. Rita, knocking off Andy Bowker of West Aurora in the quarters, knocking off Brian O'Connor of state dual team finalist Glenn Barr north of Carroll Stream in the semis. A 6-5 tough win for this kid, and another one of those kids that are going to make.
I guess like my style of wrestling is kind of like a bruiser. I usually take what the guy gives me. If I can't get to it, I try to find another way to go attack the guy.
He's been the best down in Central Illinois, but right now he's dealing with the best wrestler in this weight class in the country.
Oh, gosh.
And it's just on a whole different level there.
And Mike Benefield with a high cranking treetop, 4-1, 30 seconds left here in this first of 3 2-minute periods that we wrestle here in high school wrestling, is mandated by the National Federation of High Schools. And they go slightly out of bounds while we're in this quick break. This portion of the 2006 IHSA State Wrestling Individual Championships are brought to you by IllinoisMatmen.com.
Award winners at 1:45. Please report to the awards area and take a seat in the awards area at this time. 145-pound award winners, please report.
Right now back to action here. 8 seconds left in the opening period. Justin Hale trying to escape out of the latest takedown by Mike Benefield of Lombard Montini. 2-1 and done for the first period. Now the flip of the coin. Who will get the call here? It's going to be Justin Hale. Hale will defer his chance to the second period. And now it's Benefield that'll start on the bottom. And as you say, great wrestlers know how to get off the bottom, Mr. Twister.
Well, in college, you got about 5 seconds to get off the bottom because there's riding time in college. So if you're that type of guy that you think you're a college wrestler, you need to show you can get free.
And speaking of getting free, there's Benefield. He's now up 5-1 here in the early part of the second period. And as we see around here, looking at some kids deep up in the cheap seats with a Wildcat sign. Maybe there might be some Neuqua Valley fans that snuck in the top of the Assembly Hall. Oh, there's never a dull moment at the state finals, ladies and gentlemen. Back to action here, 5-1. Benefield with a front chancery headlock on Justin Hale. Still no scoring as of yet, and Hale needs to get on his giddy up here now.
Oh yeah, he's got a lot of ground to make up, and it's going to be very hard. This is one of the kids. There were several wrestlers that they thought was a foregone conclusion that they would win state titles. Jimmy Kennedy, Albert White, Mike Benefield. I mean, it was just considered that those weight classes were locked down. 125 probably was the toughest road, as the wrestlers didn't leave the 125 weight class because Kennedy was there. He came to the weight class late. But definitely at Benefield's weight and at White's weight, they cleared out.
Shut it down. 46 seconds left here in the second of 3 periods. Still 5-1 your score. Hale trying to get in on a right side single, but Mr. Benefield saying, brother. Hopefully we'll get a chance to talk to Albert White, the 145-pound, 3-time state champion, undefeated this year. Hopefully we can get him before the festivities are done. Right now, both men going in on a low kind of single, and Benefield scrambling. Can he get the 2? Looking to bring Mr. Hale back down to earth with 12 seconds to go. He is deep in on an ankle pick. And nothing there yet, says the official. 2 1 and done for the second period. And now it's Hale's turn. And this is going to be important, Andre. Hale's going to be on the bottom. He needs, first and foremost, an escape and to turn that into maybe a 3-point swing around with another takedown.
Well, the thing about it is Mike Benefield can ride. He's like the Lone Ranger on his horse here. It won't be an easy escape.
Benefield now right behind Hale. He'll come across there, and a great job that time by Benefield to sneak the left leg in front of the opponent's left leg. So when Hale does try to go and get out, he's already on top of his leg and falls back to the mat.
Well, Hale not using great technique to get off the bottom. First thing you want to do is get your knees and keep them underneath you. You want to get you some hand control, pop your hips, get a separation from the other wrestler, turn and face him and get your 1. You can't just stand up on a great wrestler like Mike Benefield and just think that he's going to give you an easy 2. This kid is a national champion for a reason.
And speaking of which, Mr. Benefield was a little bit of blood time.
This is wrestling, Alvin.
Yes, sir.
If you're soft, go turn on Disney.
Hey, this tournament is definitely not for the faint of heart, folks. They wrestle in this particular part of the nation.
And Benefield just doing a masterful job of riding here. You know, dropping to the single, pinching the leg, standing up with a single, taking him back to the mat. He's really putting on a clinic for you young people that are watching this tape and you want to learn how to ride. This is what you want to watch right here. This is talent at its highest level.
A very technically sound Lombard Montini squad. We had a chance to talk to their coach at the Team Dual State last year when they took what looks to be their last Class A state title. They had 4 in a row.
And Benefield finally cuts Hale after being warned for stalling. And really all he had to do was just pick Hale back up and bring him back to the mat, and he wouldn't have got called.
46 seconds remaining now. If by some strange way Justin Hale gets back into this match.
Well, he's in it because it's 5-2.
Well, it's 5-2 now, but the question is, can he score any more?
Well, yeah, he's got to get a takedown. Nothing's going to happen without a takedown. You know, you're not going to just turn him, unless you take him down. He's not going to make the type of mistake to put you, in the match like some stupid stuff. He's too solid.
34 seconds remaining here, now down to 26, and Justin Hale's got to get on his giddy-up. And Mike Benefield just right there stopping him with the front chancery, 19 seconds to go. And now all Benefield has to do is just keep aggressive. That's how you get
Benefield just got hit for stalling again.
Oh, about 5-3. And now Hale with a possible takedown at the edge of the mat, trying to bring him in. 2-1. No.
And if you remember, think back to the Dvorak. Benefield got hit with 2 stalling calls late, went in overtime, and then power doubled his way to the championship. Not an issue today. He's going to get his hand raised right now.
Mike Benefield of Lombard Montini with a 5-3 victory over Justin Hale of Bloomington High.
I'm here with Mike Benefield, the 152-pound state champ. This is his 3rd consecutive state title. He just won. His first 2 were at Class A. Now you moved up to Double A. Talk about the jump a little bit.
It was a lot tougher. There's a lot more matches. It's a lot tougher kids, like, throughout the whole bracket. There's not just, like, 1 or 2 kids that are tough and going to give you a match. So you really need to be prepared every single time for every single match, no matter what.
The Class AA 160-pound state finals match is brought to you by Gilbert Grappling School of Wrestling. To become a champion, you must train like one. Visit gilbertgrappling.com for wrestling school information.
Stephen Dwyer, Rockton, Hononegah, 160 pounds.
Benji Friedel, Carl Sandburg High School, 160 pounds.
We're going to move to 160 pounds. Bryn Friedel of Orland Park Sandburg, the controversial finalist, taking on possibly this year's sentimental favorite in the 160-pound light welterweight class, Stephen Dwyer of Rockton, Hononegah, who knocked off Bill Cascone 5-2. Ben Friedel with a controversial 8-7 victory over Josh Hilliard of Maywood Proviso East. And Andre, we saw that match, a very questionable locked hands call with 5 seconds remaining in the match.
Well, I haven't found anybody that I've talked to that thought that was locked hands.
I don't know if you could say it's moves, because everybody knows the same moves. It depends on what you know to get your move and how you know to finish it that's different than somebody else knows. I mean, because everybody, when they start wrestling, after their first year, they know almost every move. It's just a matter of how many times can you get in that move. If you wrestle somebody who knows you're going to do that move, can you set it up so many different ways? Can you move them? Can you do it so well that they're not going to be able to stop it even though they know it's coming?
This has been one of the most interesting tournaments we've seen yet in the history of IHSA State Championship Wrestling. That's going some 69 years. We now go to 160 pounds. Ben Friedel in the blue and white of Sandburg.
My feeling is amazing. I just made it to the finals. This is my first time I've ever won a couple matches at state. Made it to the finals, Grand March, following my brother who did it his senior year. It's an amazing feeling.
You're in position, along with Mike Benefield, who just won his third, well, you're in position to get 4, let me put an asterisk on it, true AA state titles. And just what's the work ethic? A lot of people think they know how you work. Real quickly, and I'll let you go celebrate with your family and your friends, what do you do that separates you from the rest of the 145s in the world?
I don't know. All I know is what I do. I don't know what they do.
What do you do?
I work hard. I work out.
I guess what I'm trying to find out is what defines Albert White working hard? Is it 5 practices a day? Do you go 5 days a week? Do you go 7 days a week? Do you run 50 miles? Or is this information top secret and you can't tell us until you get 4 titles?
I run, I train, I talk wrestling, watch wrestling.
You basically eat, sleep, and dream wrestling. Yeah. Okay, well, and that's definitely a plan. If you outwork your competition, you get to stand on the top of the podium, right?
Yes.
So for all those guys that want to go, 45, 52 next year, they want to beat you, they got to outwork you, right?
Yes.
A man of few words, but many bracket boards. Albert White, the 145-pound champ, 3-time state champ. Albert, congratulations. Good luck on number 4, and we wish you success in reaching your goal.
Albert's going to have to move in a bigger house because I don't know if he's got enough wall space for all those bracket boards. I've been over to his house, and he's going to have to, knock down a wall or something.
Right now, let's knock down this 160-pound weight class championship. Right now, it is Mr. Ben Friedel with a 3. Nope, not Ben Friedel. I take that back. That's Steve Dwyer of Rockton, Hononegah with a 3-0 lead on Ben Friedel. I don't think Friedel may get the championship here if Dwyer's on his game.
Well, Dwyer has been, 1 or 2 ranked all year long at this weight class. He's a tough customer. He was the highest returning placer from last year.
Right now, Dwyer up to 5-0 on a reversal, and now he's got hit with a stall call, trying to go deep in on an ankle pick, and he's got to watch himself on the stalls. They have been calling stalls with abandon in this championship round.
And they don't want them called. That's the thing about it. The fans are really, not happy with the way stalling is interpreted around here. It seems like when they want a stalling call, they don't get one, and when they don't want one, boom. So, you can't have your cake and eat it too. Mike Benefield in the house one time. Can I borrow you for a quick minute, Mike Benefield?
Mike Benefield, 3-time state champ, 2nd ever person in the history of the IHSA state tournament to repeat as state champions in 2 different classes. Class A last year, Class AA this year. You're a 3-timer. Are we looking for number 4 next year here at the AA level?
Yeah.
And this would be unprecedented, Andre. Repeat state champs in 2 class levels.
Well, yeah, that's true. You know, double-double, I guess we'll have to call it, Mike. We're going to give you a time. It's going to be a double-double. Okay, you know. Yeah. I remember interviewing you this time last year at the state tournament, and you made a statement that stuck in my head for a long time. You said that you wanted the chance to prove. Do you remember that conversation we had? You wanted the chance to prove against the AA guys. I mean, you know, you're Mike Benefield. I mean, some guys are legendary around here, so you didn't have to prove that you could wrestle to anybody else. Who are you trying to prove that to?
Mostly myself. To actually everyone still. Because, I mean, no matter what, behind everyone's mind, there's still going to be a little doubt if he could have done it in AA, same thing he did in single A. And I always had that. I never really had that doubt in my mind, but there's a little something saying that maybe if you're AA, you could show everyone that you're just that much better and you can really hang with everyone, just beat everyone that people say you might not be able to beat.
Real quick before we get back to Mr. Mike Benefield, looking at this 5-3 your score now, a reversal by Ben Friedel of Sandburg, trying to get back into the match against Stephen Dwyer. A minute 40 left in regulation of the 160-pound weight class championship. Quickly back to Mike Benefield of Montini. Was this a welcome wake-up call for the Montini program, getting the bump from A to AA with the multiplier now in effect?
Pretty good as a team. I mean, I was the only one in the finals and the only one to win it for our team this year, but we still had, I think, 6 placers. I mean, that's still pretty good. There's a few kids that really could have done a lot better and could have won a few other matches, but yeah, it was a little bit of a wake-up call, telling some of the kids that kind of didn't wrestle as hard all year in practice and stuff, that they really need to get after in the practice room and start working a little harder for next year.
So this AA is a little bit harder than the Class A. And if that's coming from Superman here,
yeah. Hey,
you know, what can the minions, the regular guys think? You know?
Hey, you got to step your game up. I mean, we talked with Mike Ryan earlier from Kankakee McNamara. He basically said the same thing. You've got to step your game up when you get to the AA ranks. Mike Benefield, a perfect example here, as we see Steve Dwyer pick up 2 more on Ben Friedel of Sandburg. 8-3 your score. One final question for you, Mike. As you look for the double-double next year, 2 A titles, 2 AA titles, this definitely puts you in a class by yourself, but what is it about the off-season that puts you in line for state championships?
Off-season just puts you that much farther ahead of everyone else. Everyone else that doesn't wrestle during the off-season or maybe does some other sports, that's fine and everything, but wrestling all summer really puts you that much further ahead of all the herd and really prepares you. I mean, with your conditioning, you never really get out of shape, so you have to work to get back in shape. It puts you ahead with technique and everything, strength, everything. It just makes you so much better, I think.
And let me expound upon that. This year, real quickly before we go back to our final match, is that Illinois will have one of their best freestyle teams ever, and I think Mike will agree with that. It's going to be a who's who, not just the guys that are champions here. There's some other placers that are on the team that are going to fit in, and it's going to be one heck of a ride up to Fargo.
Yeah, I think this year's at Fargo is going to be awesome. So
we got a new state champ here.
Yep, it's Stephen Dwyer of Rockton Hononegah. The senior goes out 43-1 with an 8-5 victory, and great for the Indians of Rockton Hononegah. Denied the chance to advance in the team dual state. Now they have an individual state champion for Hononegah. That is state champion number 5.
I'm here with Steve Dwyer, the 160-pound state champion. He was runner-up last year. He came back, he won it this year. You avenged an earlier loss you had this season to Friedel. Tell me about it a little bit.
Well, that match got into a couple situations where I had come out, I tried to see the match beforehand in my head. So I calmed my nerves because I told myself I already wrestled this match and I know what happened. So I just did the same thing that I saw myself doing in the locker room. I came out, there was a couple times when he was hitting a switch and I probably could have stopped it, but I let it go because I knew I was already up by enough. If he just got it, it wouldn't make a difference.
The Class AA 171-pound state finals match is brought to you by Top Gun Freestyle Team, Illinois' #1 freestyle club. To learn more, visit their website at www.topgunwrestling.com.
Adam Matella, Rapton Hananigo, 171.
John Durgo, Morris Community High School, 171 pounds.
And here we are with John Durgo taking on Adam Latilla. Durgo is in the maroon and gold of Morris. He is undefeated. Meanwhile, Adam Latilla with a 9-loss record, 39-9. And right now, 2 takedown by Durgo. Durgo.
My style of wrestling, I'd probably have to say, I just pound at people, go after them, let's be in better condition than them. So.
All right, and what moves got you to this point?
You know, I like my favorite move is probably, you know, shooting a high crotch and you know, just riding the guy out on top. So.
Durgo, the star running back of the state champion Morris Redskin football team that upset Joliet Catholic in the state quarterfinals earlier this year.
The Chicago Sun-Times Player of the Year, no less, taking a great opportunity to pass up on football in favor of wrestling, a rare opportunity, something you don't normally see, Alvin.
I'm pretty excited. I've never even qualified for state yet, so I mean, to be in the finals my senior year, it's really exciting. Can't wait.
They know exactly where I'm going with this.
Well, Durgo comes into the match undefeated. There he is with a another takedown there. And Durgo came in 42-0 into this match. Defeated Gabe Buell from Crystal Lake 7-1. His opponent, Adam Latella, also comes in with a really nice record. 39-3, if that's correct, Alvin?
39-9 is what he came in.
39-9. I don't have my glasses, folks, so just bear with me here. You get blind when you get older. Both wrestlers tied up in the middle of the mat there.
Hey, we could also only be so young. Right now the score is 4-2 as Durgo with a couple of takedowns, and he let Latella go. Just in case you're joining us here, we're at Assembly Hall, the campus of the University of Illinois, downstate Champaign, the 2006 IHSA State Wrestling Individual Finals. And the period ends, the first of 3 2-minute periods here. Right now it'll be Durgo's choice, and Durgo will defer selection to Latella, who chooses to go down. And it's going to be important for Latella to get out of the hold of Durgo and get back into this one. Try to make it a 1-point advantage for Durgo.
Well, when you're on the bottom, the key is to get the escape. You want to get one. You don't want to get ridden out for a long period of time. Here's Durgo with a 2-on-1, Alvin, and
what exactly is a 2-on-1?
Well,
Andre?
he just lost a 2-on-1. You're going to put your two hands on his one wrist, and, you know, and look to turn him. So I think they like to refer to it sometimes as a bar arm, but nevertheless, right now he's putting forward pressure on him. Just trying to keep him under control until he gets what he wants, his grip.
And sometimes what I notice, Andre, is that some of these wrestlers who lose that 2-on-1, they'll try to get maybe a modified half, and then they get a little high, and then the underneath wrestler seems to raise up and slip himself out of the back door. And
it's called coming out the back door, basically. You're right about that, Alvin. And right now, you know, Latella just gets to his base, and he's really just trying to look for an opening, an opportunity where Durgo may make a mistake, where he can clear his hips. If he clears his hips, basically he can get out the bottom. Right now, the forearm to the back of the head there by Durgo, keeping pressure on there. He's got a leg in.
And right now, Durgo up to his base. He's got Latella, and what you saw there, Durgo slipping the arm underneath the left leg so as to deny any kind of upward movement and knock him back down to the mat. So Latella will go back to the referee's position. Durgo on top. Durgo trying to sneak in a modified half. Now goes back to the 1. And what's so important about these two wrestlers, especially Durgo in the aggressor's position is he's got to make sure that he continues to work to improve his position. In this case, try to work to get either a tilt toward a near fall situation or a possible pinning predicament.
Actually, both wrestlers have to work. Here's Durgo putting a leg in as Latella comes up to his base. Just not a lot of action on the bottom right now by Latella, just kind of just riding it out and just making sure that he doesn't get turned here. Puts in a half switch, but nothing happening there.
And it's still 4-2, and Durgo's going to need a lot of that leg riding coming into the collegiate level, because you can earn points for riding your man the most amount of minutes in the match.
And Alvin, there's Durgo down on bottom. He just scored a reversal as he got off the bottom, and now they're back up to the feet.
6-3 is your score right now. Durgo leading Latella. This is the 171-pound Class AA individual championship, and
Durgo out the back.
Out the back door, and two more. 8-3 for Durgo. Rolling right along here, looking to complete an undefeated campaign for his senior season, and it'd be a great way to end a high school wrestling career.
And Alvin, I had an opportunity to interview John Durgo earlier in the year for Illinois Man Live, and one of the main things I wanted to know was he going to have any regrets of giving up football? Because if you had never seen him play football, it was an amazing thing to see. I mean, he was just everywhere, and he said he had absolutely no regrets. He said the University of Illinois football coaches could approach him. He would not play football at all. He wants to wrestle. As he just cuts Latella, gives Latella a point. He wants to be on his feet, work for a takedown here.
8-4 is your score now, waiting moments of this match. And Durgo, once again, there's two more. That's 10-4 in favor of John Durgo. And he looks to cut him again.
Latella seems resigned to his fate here. He does almost have a single in, but he's really not being aggressive, with the score, with what it is, Alvin. He needs to really try to, he needs to fall at this point. There's a stalemate, though.
Sort of like at this point, Latella's wrestling the mystique of John Durgo instead of the man in front of him.
Exactly, and Durgo does come in with a huge reputation. He was Mr. Everything for Morris. But you just can't be happy to be in a state championship game. There's a single by Durgo. And,
there's two more.
And this is near fall points here. There's 2 swipes, 3 swipes, 4 swipes.
He'll get at least 2. He still has him in the near fall predicament.
There's the 3 signaled by the referee. He's got it balled up. He's rating to see if it turns into an actual fall.
Well, he's got it cinched in pretty good. If he can just stand on his feet and kind of push the arms down.
This place will go nuts if Durgo pins this kid, I can tell you that. He's one of the fan favorites of the state of Illinois this year.
Yep, he wins this one. 10-4 is the final, and John Durgo, your 171-pound super welterweight Class AA champion. And congratulations to this young man. A great career, 2-sport All-Stater. You don't see that very often.
3-sport All-Stater.
You got a big move there at the end. Kind of take me through part of the match, what was going through your head.
I was just trying to wrestle, not so, tensed up, going after him the whole time. I was making him wrestle my match and controlling the whole time, and he opened up at the end, and I took him to his back.
The Class AA 189-pound state finals match is brought to you by Stratford Orthopedics and Rehabilitation. Quality sports medicine and orthopedic care for adults, teenagers, and children.
Jerome Ward, 189, St. Rita High School.
I'm John Schoen from Marist High School, 189 pound.
All right, here we go. 189-pound cruiserweight matchup. And the combat.
It's your guy, Alvin, Jerome Ward.
Jerome Ward from
St. Rita.
Yeah, Chicago St. Rita. This kid really making a strong push since transferring from Chicago Gordon Texas 2 seasons ago.
My thoughts is don't take them too lightly. I know I've been there with these guys, beating them. They've got just as much a chance to beat me, so I'm going to go at them like it's the finals like it is.
He's going to take on John Schoen the wonderkin from the Chicago Marist powerhouse of the East Suburban Catholic. So we've got the ESCC taking on the CCL, one of two matches that we actually have here in the championship round. The next round, we'll have another CCL ESCC match.
I'm going to be wrestling Jerome Ward. I lost to him 9-5 at the Dvorak. I'm going to have to watch out for his shots. He's a really powerful guy. And at the Dvorak, he got in on me pretty deep, and we were kind of up in like a standstill, and he just kind of trucked me over, so I got to stay low on him.
Jerome Ward and John Schoen for Catholic school supremacy in Chicago and a state championship. Both men tying up near the edge of the mat. I believe that is Mr. Tony Ward, who was our official.
Yates.
Tony Yates. All these Tonys, man, I tell you. We can have our own Sopranos here at Assembly Hall. Stalemate as both men go back to the middle. And, boy, all these officials, all 18-man officials really have earned their medal getting to Assembly Hall.
Well, Alvin, Jerome Ward, let's talk about him a little bit. Fullback on the football team at St. Rita, just a solid job there. And he is really coming to his own since transferring to St. Rita as came in as a sophomore year, transferred from Gordon Tech, and just, working every day with Albert White, three-time state champ from St. Rita, has really brought Jerome Ward into his own. And he's, I've heard all kind of names for him. Beast, Monster, Man-Child, pick one. But John Schoen has his hands full. I saw them wrestle earlier, Alvin, in the year, and it was just a classic match over at Mariston. John Schoen, he's no scrub in his own right.
Well, the thing about it is that Schoen gets thrown by Ward out of bounds. Schoen comes from that very vaunted Chicago Marist program. Gervais, the longtime coach, a former athletic director, Jerome Ward, and John Schoen really trying to feel each other out. It's going to be really tough to see which one of these guys can find that one hole that they can really capitalize upon. But Jerome Ward just looks like an absolute specimen.
But Schoen is no small guy himself, and he bumped off the pride of the South, Scott Penny from Granite City. A lot of people from the South expected Scott Penny, to be right here in the finals, and he is an all-stater, made it to the Final Four, but he lost, was that 2-1, Alvin?
2-1, Schoen knocked him off. And there's Ward, who'll get the opening point of the match on the cut by Schoen, so both men back to their feet.
And Ward got to the finals, 5-4 overtime win over DJ Bruce, Naperville North, another big-time favorite, the DuPage Valley Conference champion and a stud in his own right. I mean, this 189 weight class is just loaded all over the place. And these guys here, I like this weight class a lot, Alvin. These guys, this is not your fat kids either. Look at the bodies on these guys. People pay a lot of money at the health club to get that type of body that Jerome Ward's got.
That's why these are the cruiserweights. These are the guys that they have the bulk, but they also have the speed. Just cruising right along.
And right now, just both guys kind of sizing each other out. There's Ward with the little Russian tie, falls up off of it, getting the head beat down a little bit by Schoen. And just a lot of hand fighting there. And referee Yates coming in saying, clean it up, stay off his face, and let's wrestle.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, we come to you from Assembly Hall in Champaign, Illinois, the University of Illinois. This is the 2006 IHSA State Individual Wrestling Championships. I'm Alvin Washington alongside Mr. Twister Andre Morgan. Very special thank you to Illinois Matmen and the IHSA for allowing us to bring you all these absolutely fabulous championship matches. And there is Ward with the possible treetop, bringing Schoen back in, looking for the leg trip. Schoen trying to hang on for dear life, and Ward just hanging on to that left leg like a dog hanging on to a pork chop. And there's
his
the
takedown. There's his takedown. He got it. He got his pork chop. Now here's a barrel roll here.
Well, now he's going for the steak and eggs.
And he's just going to, right here, Schoen is going to minimize the damage, Alvin. He's going to stay down there on the bottom, make sure he doesn't get turned. Ward with the arm around the back. Schoen needs an escape here if he can get one. Instead, he's going to end up, looks like he lost something.
It looks like he lost a contact there. 3-0.
I never understand that wrestling with contacts. I mean, they just pop out.
3-0 is the score, and Schoen will go back on bottom. We're still in the second period of this match. There's Ward back at it again.
Inside stand up there for Schoen. And
that's the period. Second period is done. And now it is Schoen's turn to call. He'll go on bottom. Schoen needs an escape and a takedown very quickly.
And I'd be remiss if not to mention the assistant referee in this match, Alvin, one of the good guys in the officiating game. That's Mr. Greg Anderson. A lot of people kind of like his style of wrestling. I like him. He's a big guy. He referees like a small guy. He'll hustle for you. Meanwhile, back to the match, Alvin.
3-2 is now the score as Schoen gets out of the grass. So we got his escape. Now he needs to take down to really put some pressure on Jerome Ward, but Ward just looks like a cagey veteran. You know, like you gotta. There's no way you're gonna get it on Jerome Ward unless you absolutely, positively can find that. And now Mr. Yates says we got some blood on Mr. Ward, so.
The next bout, he could do some good things here. Back to action, though, Alvin.
3-2, Jerome Ward leading John Schoen, and both men going out to the mat again. A lot of wrestling at the edge of the mat by these two guys, but nothing scoring as of yet. The only score on the edge was that nice treetop by Jerome Ward back in the second period, where he just basically hung on for dear life and said, "Come back here, boy."
And one of the things that I like to look at guys and try to see what I can figure out about them as. Jerome Ward scoots around the back looking for a takedown. There's your 2-on-1, Alvin. But Jerome Ward, one of the nicest interviews you're ever going to get, and what a well-spoken young man.
And look at that. Looks like he gets 2 more. He'll pick up those 2. It's now 5-2 in favor of Jerome Ward. And he's learned a lot in those sparring sessions with the 3-time state champ Albert White. Both wrestlers could be nationally ranked by the end of this series.
Well, they are already nationally ranked. Of course, Albert White is everybody's #1, but Jerome Ward has definitely made a name for himself. He is a high school All-American, placing at Fargo this past summer with Team Illinois. So, he knows about the big show and what to do. In the background there, the head coaches from St. Rita not looking really worried. That's Coach Carroll on the left and assistant coach Ryan Egan. They don't look like they're too worried about John Schoen.
And Dan Carroll building this St. Rita program much like he did the old Chicago Weber before coming to St. Rita. And Dan
Catholic League champions this year, St. Rita. Yeah. And they'll be a favorite next year for the state title hunt. Mark my words, them and Glenbar North will be 2 teams to beat. Here's a single leg here and a dump by Jerome Ward. There's another takedown. John Schoen is going in reverse here quickly, and he's going to have to go fast forward.
I mean, that'll do it. That will do it. Your final score in the 189-pound cruiserweight match. Jerome Ward with a nice 7-2 victory over John Schoen, picking up his first state title, and a good round of applause from the crowd there.
I'm here with Jerome Ward, the 189-pound state champ. Tell me how it feels to be a champ.
Oh, man, this feels so good. I don't even think this is real yet. I won't find out till I get the break.
Tell me a little bit about the match, what was going through your head out there.
Just be patient, and that guy, he's not very technical. He's just going to try to pound on you and keep going at you, which is real good, but I cut a couple corners on him and got a couple takedowns, and that's what won the match for me.
The Class AA 215-pound state finals match is brought to you by Marian Catholic High School's wrestling program. Nationally recognized college prep school where students graduate prepared for college, prepared for life.
My name is Christian Brantley. I wrestle for Mount Carmel, weight 215.
I'm Joe Fagiano from St. Patrick High School. I'm 215.
All right, it's heavyweight time in the program.
Almost heavyweight time.
Light heavyweights, we're going to start here. Another CCL ESCC showdown. You've got Christian Brantley right there in the white and brown of Mount Carmel. He's going to take on the almost overwhelming favorite here in the.
My style of wrestling is kind of like Dan Gable. Wear the guy down. Never give up. If he's tired, I'm not tired. And my favorite move is underhook the throw by.
Joe Trinka of Crystal Lake Prairie Ridge to get to this point. A pair of opposite styles in this 215-pound final, Andre.
And that's very true. Brantley more of a pummeler. He likes to get in and work in close. Where you got Fagiano, he's more of a physical type guy. He's a brawler.
I like to be quick on my feet, kind of get guys moving, get them off balance, take them down. I like get them down, getting tilts, getting a lead early in the match.
Both men kind of feeling each other out here. And it's interesting that we have back-to-back matches in the state final with two of the premier conferences that produce a lot of great kids. The Chicago Catholic League, which seems to bring out just everybody but the kitchen sink, and the East Suburban Catholic Conference with the additions of the kids from Marist and Mr. Fagiano from St. Patrick, starting to get another foothold back into the state finals.
Well, without a doubt, the East Suburban Conference much maligned because Marist is so dominant. That's why it's nice to see St. Patrick get a kid in here in the state finals. And Fagiano totally capable of winning this match here. He already beat Brantley earlier in the year. I believe the score was 11-5. And in that match, he did dominate Brantley. Brantley, of course, I know a lot about him, and he's going to make some adjustments. And one of the things what you want to do with Fagiano is you want to slow him down, cut that speed down, tie him up, get him in close. Don't want him to get out there and just go to work on Brantley.
Rare cut here to give Tony Fagiano.
Joe.
I like Tony. Joe Fagiano.
If it was the Sopranos, you'd be all right.
Yeah, I know. Joe Fagiano gets a rare cut from Christian Brantley, however. Could that be a key in this match if it happens to come down to the way that these two men have been wrestling each other?
Well, in the state championship, Alvin, every point is important. It's the little things that can cost you, as Brantley has an underhook here and looking to get double underhooks or drop to a single there. But, every point is important, whether you're cutting a guy and giving him a point, whether you're trying to get an escape, whatever your plan is, you don't just give away points freely. You have a plan.
And hopefully Brantley's plan to try and throw Fagiano comes to fruition. But right now Fagiano looks like his mass is much bigger and much more equally distributed than Christian Brantley. That's probably why he's been able to get that low center of gravity that is not allowing Christian Brantley to do his patented throws.
Well, not right now, but Brantley, this actually is playing into Brantley's hands as he learned from his last match. Fagiano really having to work hard here to score points. He hasn't really it's played into Brantley's hands. He's kept the match close. It's anybody's match at this point in the middle of the second period.
Still 1-0 in favor of Joe Fagiano of Chicago St. Patrick. They're in the green and gold. Christian Brantley from Chicago Mount Carmel in the white and brown, the Lehigh-style singlet that you see a lot from a lot of the key wrestlers, not only here in the state of Illinois, but across the nation as well.
A lot of double underhooks there by Brantley. That's a throwing situation if he chooses to use it. Doesn't really have that left underhook in there. That's an overhook for Fagiano. And there's an attempted inside trip by Brantley. Nothing happening right there. And I think if I remember right, in the previous match, Brantley did get in a throw out of bounds on Fagiano. And you can believe that both wrestlers looked at the tape of the previous match and made adjustments to each other.
Still 1-0 as you see there, Coach Ben Gertis right there along with Coach Jordan.
I've never seen those guys look so good with those suits on. Wow.
Third period, Brantley will start on bottom, and it's going to be very important for him to get himself an escape here as Fagiano is up 1-0, and Fagiano getting in on an inside cradle there.
Well, he didn't really get it locked up, but he had plans. Brantley needs to hold on to that leg. You see Fagiano has that chin real tight. If he can turn that chin and get to a lockup, it's not going to happen now. Brantley's in good position right now to avoid getting turned, and he's just got to get up to his base, and there's the base. Fagiano, watch the Granby there, Fagiano. And he's going to spin around to the back to avoid that situation.
Fagiano just keeping everything cinched in now, trying to get it a half. Let's go of the half and trying to almost got locked hands there, trying to cinch it a 2-for-1. But what he is doing, Andre, he's keeping that near side leg in as close as possible so Christian Brantley cannot get. Well, there's Brantley
give up that escape there.
1-1.
Cancel that thought, Alvin. Brantley moving like a 103 gets off the bottom there.
So the next takedown will definitely control this match. And now both men trying to get their hooks in left and right.
Well, Brantley has an underhook. working to get another underhook. They're going to go back to the head and just pummel in. That's really, like I said, Fagiano is wrestling Brantley style at this point here.
Now Fagiano trying to get it on a low left single and slipped out of bounds.
This match is going down to the last 15 seconds, Alvin. Mark my words, it's going to go down at the end.
Both men back into the stalemate. Fagiano trying to get in on a low double, and Brantley tried to get the throw, and Fagiano will sneak in for the 2.
And I wonder, did you hear Alvin in the background? Coach Ben Gertie's telling Brantley, get to work, get to work. Wonder if Brantley forced the issue there a little bit sooner than he needed to.
Well, that might work in Fagiano's favor. Fagiano with a 3-1 lead. Now he's cinching in on sort of like a tight waist.
He had a tight waist. He tried to get a tilt there. He didn't get it. Brantley up to the tripod. Got a tripod base going. He's on his feet. He needs to get one badly.
Look at this. Look at this. An escape by Brantley. He's down 3-2, but he needs a takedown here. Waning seconds of the match. That's it. And by the skin of his chinny chin, green and gold and all, Joe Fagiano takes out Christian Brantley 3-2 to win the 215-pound light heavyweight division, and a great day for St. Patrick Wrestling.
And here's the thing, both of these young men are juniors. Who's to say we won't see them both back next year?
I'm with Joe Fagiano, the 215-pound state champ. He's never qualified for state before, and he came back, you came out and you won it. That's a big story. Tell me how you feel.
I feel pretty good. Came here and did what I wanted to do, so can't be sad with that.
Talk about the match a little bit. It came down to the third period there. You got a huge takedown. Tell me about it.
I didn't want it to come down to that, but it did, so I picked it up and got the win. 2 counts.
The Class AA Heavyweight State Finals match is brought to you by Gilbert Grappling School of Wrestling. To become a champion, you must train like one. Visit gilbertgrappling.com for wrestling school information.
Jordan Johnson, April North, 75. John Bench, Downsville North, 275.
Now we come to the big dogs. The heavyweight championship of the Illini State on the line right now. You see in the silver, Mr. Jordan
Johnson's in the blue.
Jordan Johnson's in the blue. It's John Bench. That's in the silver of Downers Grove North. Bench is 41-2 coming into this match. Johnson 39-2 coming into this match. Bench is a senior, so this is his last chance at it.
Well, without a doubt, Bench doing a great job getting this far. Bumped off Chris Palladino from Bartlett. Beat him pretty soundly there, 10-6.
Wrestling B, so I'm up at heavyweight, and I'm not exactly a big heavyweight, so I use a lot of movement, a lot of low shots, a lot of fakes, just a lot of movement. Try to get him off balance, and attack from there.
Story in himself in that he never wrestled until his sophomore year, and so but a solid record he had. But it doesn't matter. Jordan Johnson, and here's another thing, Alvin. Jordan Johnson moved up from 215. Originally he was at 215. He took some losses down there to Fagiano and other wrestlers and said, hey, let me get back, let me go heavyweight. His plan is to be the quicker guy at heavyweight. He's not going to be the bigger guy. He's going to work with the speed.
And not only that, Jordan Johnson comes in as a defending state placer in the heavyweight division last year, taking 5th with a 41-7 record. Now he's looking for his 40th win here. Back-to-back 40-win seasons, not bad if you're a junior.
Well, without a doubt.
I'm wrestling Jordan Johnson from Naperville North, and last week at sectionals, he was tied 2-2 and he won. I didn't get away in the 4th overtime. So this time just got to step up my game a little bit, practice for it all week because I knew he was on one side bracket, I was on the other. I knew I was going to see him in the finals, so just worked on that all week, and I don't know, guess just step up my game and, bring it.
Years ago here at the state finals, looking very solid on his road to the top of the podium. Right now, still no score between Johnson and Bench. Bench is in the silver, and Johnson in the navy and orange with white striping. second period is upon us. The choice will go to Johnson. He defers to Bench. Bench will take the bottom here. And once again, when you've got tight matches like this, when there's 0-0 going into the second period, choice and first points are always important.
A Bench trying to get up off the bottom. He's on his feet, and there's the cut. Johnson also bumped off another very good wrestler, Matt Fiat. And he was from Winnett Canoe Trier. Fiat came into the state tournament. Help me out. It looks like he was undefeated. I don't have my glasses, fans. Don't kill me. But that's what happens when you get old.
Matt Fiat, I believe you're talking about. He came in actually 33-1.
Right. Okay. Yeah. He had one loss just at the sectionals, but a solid wrestler in his own right. Jordan Johnson just really controlling western suburbs and the northern shore.
Right now it's 1-all. Both men back to a stalemate. Here's Johnson in on the low signal. He'll get the 2.
And that's the speed that I was talking about earlier that Johnson wants to use.
Hold it. Well, he doesn't exactly have the 2 just yet. He's coming out of the back door.
Got to get that arm out.
And they're going to call a stalemate. So Johnson didn't exactly get the 2.
And he's going to be called over to the table, I think. I think the coach is going to the table. Is that correct? Yes, sir. They're going to talk about this, Alvin. Hey, that's a nice tattoo Jordan Johnson's got on his back. Can you see that tattoo? I can't read my program, but I can see that tattoo. That's the USA Wrestling tattoo.
Wow.
It looks like it hurts. I don't understand these guys that put tattoos on their spines, but God bless them. No needles for me. But that's a nice tattoo he's got on.
Both men back to their feet again. Johnson and Bench here in the Heavyweight Championship of Illinois. Our final match here at the 2006 Illinois High School State Individual Wrestling Championships. Once again, a very special thank you to the University of Illinois for once again being the host school of this absolutely fabulous tournament. And through the years that not only Assembly Hall but Old Huff Gym was hosting this tournament, you're talking about a litany of wrestlers that have come through and have not only made their name at the high school level but also at the collegiate level and in some cases the Olympic and international level.
Well, just hats off to the University of Illinois for sponsoring and supporting wrestling in Illinois. Huff Gymnasium, as you mentioned, will be the site of the Illinois State Freestyle and Greco-Roman Championships in early May. So University of Illinois really supporting wrestling. A lot of states are not fortunate to have what we have here. Meanwhile, Alvin, back in the middle of the mat, both guys just kind of feeling each other out here a little bit. I'd like to see Bench get a little bit more busier here and he needs to tie up Johnson, slow him down, because if not, Johnson's going to go to work with that speed.
And Jordan Johnson reminds me a lot of another rather lean heavyweight in this particular bracket that was knocked off some time ago. Is Tim Lambert of Mount Carmel of Chicago. The way that Lambert is made is Bench trying to get a couple there and won't get it. Great stop by
Johnson is going to end up getting in on these legs here, Alvin. Well, if he comes up the back, that's going to be a takedown.
Yep, there's 2. There's the 2, and Johnson getting some absolutely great position. He controls the match now 3-1, and Johnny Bench really needs to get going here. He has not looked like he wants to wrestle right now.
Well, he's really struggling here with the speed of Jordan Johnson. Johnson, in my mind, really a light heavyweight, to use your boxing terminology. He's a heavyweight, but he's got the body of a light heavyweight. And where, Bench definitely the bigger of the 2 guys, this weight class going all the way up to 275 pounds. And I don't know what Bench stepped on the scale at, but it wasn't at 216, that's for sure. And you can see his coach telling him, Bench's coach telling him, you got to get going, And he's right, as the clock is going tick-tock, tick-tock. And it's going in Jordan Johnson's favor.
Yeah, Jordan Johnson right now looking ever so aggressive. He'll cut Bench, so now it's 3-2. Bench needs a takedown here to possibly win the match.
And that's the key in a match like this. This is the state championship match. We saw it in the Brantley Fagiano match. We're going to see it here. It's going to come down to the wrestler that can score takedowns. At this elite level of wrestling, you've got to be able to take a guy down.
And stalemate call to try to get here. Waiting moments of this third period, this final match of the 2006 IHSA State Individual Wrestling Championships. Special thank you to Dave Ganaway, who once again directed a very fabulous tournament. All the minions, not only the officials, but also the volunteers that have helped out, bringing the brackets up to the media spots. All those who are helping out with the wrestlers, make sure they got to where they need to go, whether it be the award stand or in the dressing room.
John Bench looking for a big move at this point. Kind of a soft shot there by Johnson. And Bench was able to get a front headlock series, but couldn't do much with it. There's Jordan Johnson again on a straight-in shot. He'd be better advised
and that's
to
it.
go outside, but I guess it doesn't really matter as he's the new 275-pound state champion.
Jordan Johnson of Naperville North. Pencil him in, folks, as this year's heavyweight champion of Illinois. A nice 3-2 victory over John Bench of Downers Grove North. And with Jordan Johnson.
Look, he and his coach are wrestling on the mat there, and you gotta love it as the coaches are really happy for him.
I'm with Jordan Johnson. He's the new heavyweight state champion. Was 5th last year. Tell me how it feels.
I can't describe it. I don't know. It's awesome.
You know, you stayed offensive even though you were ahead. You were ahead 5-2. You got the takedown. You were ahead 7-2 with 5 seconds left. You took another shot trying to score. Then you took down your coach after the match. Talk about it a little.
Well, like I said, when I wrestled in the sectional finals, I wasn't getting the calls. I mean, sectional finals I was in on like 20 times just running off the mat. And I knew the refs would be making the right calls here because it's the finals. So, just kept the same game plan I had. I didn't have to worry about really even finishing my shots because he wasn't doing anything but stalling and fleeing the mat. So that was my game plan.
Awesome, man. Congratulations.
I'm Jeff Harrison, and that's it for the 2006 Illinois High School State Championships. For more great wrestling footage, tune in to www.thewrestlingrecap.com. A special thanks goes out to Illinois Matmen and the IHSA for making this DVD possible. This is the IHSA State Finals.
Like you've never seen before.